Yes. So let's just do it through Gemini because I've always had success doing it through Gemini CLI. I rarely have good success trying to do it through server disconnected. Let's see. Okay. All right. So now if I pull up Gemini CLI, Gemini, hold on. Is it just Gemini CLI, no dash? How do I start Gemini CLI? How to start Gemini CLI in terminal. It is going to be just Gemini. It's just Gemini. Imagine that. All right, so now we want to say specify constitution. And now I'm going to paste in the constitution that we got from Gemini. Oh, no sandbox. All right, and we're going to say enter. So, implementing the constitution. So if I look over here, maybe templates, memory. So I'm guessing it's going to create a folder. Oops, cancel that. Defining constitutions content. Give it a second to do that. So basically I'm going to do all this stuff through, all right. So, writing, specify memory, testing philosophy, logic that calculates time or handling strings should be testable in isolation. Write file. Yes. Allow execution of Git. Yes. Show. Yes. 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 All right, so let's see. All right, so the Constitution has been written. I declare. Now the question is, where is it? Memory, Constitution. All right, there we go. There would be our Constitution, I suppose. I don't know what this stuff is, but all right, cool. So the next thing that we need to do after doing our Constitution would be to, if we go over here, we need to define what our specifications are. So I'm going to copy this. I'm building a Stream Deck plugin. Help me write a strict spec MD for a coach countdown plugin. Visual countdown, local audio, milestone alerts, technical constraints. Let's go here. And
lunch break. All
right, before we go to lunch break, I am going to throw in this last prompt. We're going to say slash spec kit dot, it's going to be dot specify. Create an update, feature specifications. Yeah, let's do that one. And then I'm going to paste that in there and enter. And now it's doing its thing. So I'm going to let it, ooh, cannot, what are you talking about? API error, cannot read, undefined. you talking? What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis? Okay, so hopefully that goes through. Let it do its thing, and we will go to break. But so far, a little shaky, but it's doing its thing. It is doing its thing. Let me go to break. Check the chat, and then we will go to our next topic. So let me see. Here says that's a Ronald Reagan quote. Which quote is, because if I said it, I have no idea what I said earlier. If somebody else said it, just let me know which quote is the Ronald Reagan quote. Because I don't remember what I say. So that's why I get in trouble sometimes, because I just be saying stuff and then it's like, but you said this. I'm like, did I really? Do you have it on camera? They probably do, because I'm always streaming, but that's another topic. All right. We are going to talk about the former GitLab CEO. They raised $8 million for Kilo Code, which we're just trying to use. Which was unsuccessful. But it's going to help us a lot once we actually start building. So that's what I really care about, the building part. I have no problem using Gemini CLI as we do this, because I always end up using Gemini CLI when we're using the spec kit part. All right, so let me see, where's this article at? Hold on, let me get it. All righty then. So let's jump over to this article. For those who do not know what GitLab is, I have personally never used GitLab, but GitLab is basically like GitHub. I don't know what makes GitLab different or special because I've never used it, but in this article, the former GitLab CEO raises money for Kilo to compete in the crowded AI coding market. It is a very, very crowded market, but the reason that I stick with Kilo continually is because I get to bring my own API keys, and I'm not paying a monthly subscription. It's just whatever I use. So I can plug in my OpenAI API key if I wanted to. I can plug in my Claude Code API key if I wanted to. I use my Gemini key because that's the one that I have. And it's been working pretty good for me, but there's a lot of competition. Kilo Code is open source. They do offer their own API key if you want to use it, but I just prefer to use my own stuff, right? I'm selfish like that. I'm a diva like that. It is what it is. So this article is written by Jordan Novett, and the TLDR, the too long didn't read, the skinny, is Kilo Code makes a vibe coding extension for programming applications such as Microsoft Visual Studio Code, also for JetBrains products. And that is why I continue to use Kilo Code, because I am a JetBrains fanboy. I used CLion for building the OBS plugin. We're using WebStorm to build this plugin. We use PyCharm to build other stuff. So we use IntelliJ for Java applications. I just love JetBrains products, right? The company was launched early this year by a group including Sid Sijbrandish? I'm sorry. Previously co-founder and CEO of coding company GitLab. Kilo has raised $8 million in seed funding from Breakers, Kodo Capital, General Catalyst, Quiet Capital, and Tokyo Black. So I'm interested in how, if they're an open source platform where you have the option to use their API key, but you can use whatever API key you want, how are they, like, how do they plan to make money? All right. So investors are betting there's room for another startup using artificial intelligence to help software engineers write code faster. The difference with Kilo Code is it counts former GitLab CEO, we're gonna go with Sid, amongst its founders. On Wednesday, Kilo Code announced $8 million in seed funding with backing from Breakers, Coda Capital, General Catalyst, Quiet Capital, and Tokyo Black. Sid is a self-taught developer who helped popularize GitLab's tools for source code collaboration, deployment, and testing. GitLab went public in 2021 and is valued at more than $6 billion. What? $6 billion? Sweet. Sid stepped down as CEO last year to focus on cancer treatment, but continued as board chair. Oh, that sucks that he had to do cancer treatment and that he had to step down. Since then, the technology industry has become obsessed with having large language models write and update software, a practice commonly known in Silicon Valley as vibe coding, which I absolutely hate that name of vibe coding. Because it doesn't do it justice to, because what I did with the OBS plugin, what I've been doing with other plugin with the speech app, I don't consider that vibe coding, right? I consider that like carefully crafted AI programming. It says OpenAI founder Andrej Karpathy is credited with coining the term in February. OpenAI looked at buying AI coding startup Windsurf for around $3 billion, but scrapped that plan before Google hired senior Windsurf employee in a $2.4 billion transaction in July. Rival Cursor announced a $2.3 billion funding round in November at a $29.3 billion valuation. So there is a lot of money in these AI tools, all right? At Microsoft, vibe coding already makes up 30% of the company's code, CEO Satya Nadella said in April. Sid witnessed the action and became fascinated by what AI could do for software development. I'm fascinated by it myself. In September, an acquaintance introduced him to Scott Brettenother, who started and later sold consultancy Brooklyn Data. I thought we were just kind of having a meet and greet, and then 25 minutes in, Sid's like, "Hey, can you start next week?" Talk about getting offered a job on the spot. Sid contributed early capital for the startup, which now employs about 34 people across the continent. Brettenother is in charge, but he talks with Sid many times a day. That's awesome. That is awesome. Kilo Code software plugs into coding applications as Cursor and Microsoft Visual Studio Code and JetBrains products. All JetBrains products, including Android Studio, IntelliJ, WebStorm, all of that. It's mostly widely used service for startup Open Router's application programming interface that gives developers access to a variety of models, including Grok Code Fast 1 from Elon Musk's xAI. Kilo Code has processed more than 3 trillion tokens in the past month, according to OpenRouter. A single token represents about 3/4 of a word. Ooh, they're trying to kill me with these names. Daniel Langzego, a software engineer at Dutch e-commerce startup Plug and Pay, said that he used Kilo Code for months after trying products from Anthropic, Cursor, and Microsoft, among others. He said he appreciates Kilo Code support for both premium and affordable models, and he likes the people publicly contribute to Kilo Code extension under an open source license. Yes, I absolutely love that. And I'm telling you, like, it was, let me see if I can find the Discord. It was, I don't know if I still have his name, but it was a guy in the Discord for Kilo Code who I worked with in testing to see that it was going to work in the JetBrains product. So that I was super happy about that. Lanzego has spread the word. About 80% of plug and play developers now use Kilo Code, he said. It helped save time for one teammate who recently assembled a complex SQL query. And here's the thing. The only thing about Kilo Code that I would caution on, being that it is using your own API key and it's charging as you're prompting, you need to be aware of your cost can go up. For the most part, it probably won't depending on how often you're using it, but it is possible that it can skyrocket if you're not careful, like what happened to me last week. It says, with Kilo, it took him a day, Langezal said. If he didn't have access to Kilo, it would have taken him a few days to implement. GitLab, which has been testing a platform for AI agents to perform tasks, is paying attention and was interested in what Kilo is building. I talked to the board, Sid said. We ended up deciding to do it outside of GitLab. GitLab included reference to Kilo in a filing last month. The company said that it paid Kilo $1,000 in exchange for a right of first refusal for 10 business days should the startup receive an acquisition proposal before August of 2026. Now that's what you want. You want a right of first refusal, because that's basically like, if someone's going to make you an offer, you have to present that offer to the right of first refusal first. And then they can say, okay, no, I don't want it. That's too rich for my blood. Go over to whoever. Or you say, oh no, I am taking the deal. All right. Let's see. The market is rapidly evolving. Design software company Figma and a slew of startups now offer vibe coding options for less technical people. It's a category Kilo Code won't be ignoring for much longer. We also want to be in the place for people just getting started with code. Sid said, we are working on an app builder that's more like a Lovable or Bolt experience. He said, referring to two popular startups, Lovable based in Sweden announced funding at 1.8 billion valuation in July. I remember that. And that is it. So the reason I wanted to review this particular article is because we use Kilo Code heavily. I remember our first episode, or not our first episode, our first time using Kilo Code. I named the episode, we got code by the kilos. That's what I called it. We have code by the kilos because I absolutely love the idea. And when we first started using it, it was kind of flaky, but it's been getting much better lately. And the plugins are in the stores, and I'm always using it. It helps me a lot with the mobile development, with whatever development we were doing. Like with the C++ development, I was so happy to see that it worked inside of CLion. So I have nothing but great things to say about Kilo Code, the people in their Discord, and the work that they put out. All right. So that is what I have for that one. Let me get to the chat really quick, and then we're going to get back to our last segments of work. Junior says, if government is here to help. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. That one. I didn't know who said it, but when someone from the government shows up and says, hello, I'm here to help, you know, it's going down at that point. Nothing good is going to come out of that. And someone actually questioned me about that. Like they don't see everyday life. They don't see everyday life, right? So whatever. Anyways, let's go and jump into our last working segment.
It's time to do.
All right, so we are over here, and it says get fetch. Oh, what are you talking about? All right, let's go and where's my mouse? Let's go and allow. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe it's trying to commit the stuff. Who knows? Visual con. Let's just say yes to everything. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. You're specifying everything. I should just say yes to all instead of like having to keep saying yes. I'm writing the specs. Just say yes, always allow. Just do all the work. I don't need to approve every little thing that you want to do. All right, so they need some clarification. Let's see what you're asking me for. Question 1. Button behavior during countdown. From the specs edge cases section, what happens if the user presses the button while a countdown is already running? How should the plugin react if the button is pressed again while the countdown is active? A, stop the count. Pressing the button acts as a toggle. Press once to start, press again to stop. I agree with that. Reset. Pressing the button again will reset the timer to its initial now. Do nothing. The button is nope. We're gonna go with pressing the button acts as a toggle. Press once to start, press again to stop. Yeah, I think so. We're gonna go with A. Because if you don't press it again, then it should just naturally count down and run out. So then the next thing after the specifications are done. Okay, what's this one? Okay, that's one I answered. The next one is going to be specify, then plan, create a technical implementation. All right, so let me take a look at, are you still waiting for me? I thought I told you that already. I thought I said A. Okay. Let me see. Next up, we're gonna do the plan after this is done. How many times I have to? Okay, so okay, we had passed that. Let's see. Let's say yes, allow. All right. Then prompt the user for the next step, reminding them. All right, so the specification is complete. Let me take a look at it real quick. Let's go to specs, MD. All right, there we go. Let's now go to spec kit.plan. And as part of the plan, so the plan is where you're going to, the plan is when you're going to do the technical breakdown, the implementation plan. So I'm gonna copy that. So this is what I'm copying into Gemini CLI. Based on specs.md, generate a plan, break the architecture down into property inspector front end, plugin logic backend, drawing service. So let's go and do that. Let's go over here and I'm gonna paste that in there and I'm gonna say enter. Now it's gonna do that part. And we're gonna say yes to do that. Now it's building our technical plan out. So with the whole spec kit, it's really organizing the way that we're gonna work so we can build the application based on the specifications. I'm pretty sure that's what we did for Sea Lion, which was very, very helpful. And that's why it ran pretty smoothly for the most part. What are these API errors? These API errors are annoying me. Let me see. Where did we? So we've got a plan. Is it done? Research. Is it done? Okay. All right, I guess it's done. I don't know what this cannot read properties file thing is. Lastly, we need to do the tasks. Or not, yeah, we need to do the tasks. So we're gonna say spec kit tasks. We're gonna say create task.md. And I see that there's one more that is for task to issues, which I've never done before. So maybe we'll do that one as well, because that'd be pretty cool if we can get tasked as GitHub issues. Never did that one before. Have the context from the plan. I'll create the task. Okay, I've got the plan and the specs. All right, so it created all the different stuff for it. And I'm just gonna do this last one over here for spec kit. Let's do spec kit dot. Well, let me do clarify first. Well, what does checklist do? All right, let's do clarify. See if there's anything we need to clarify. Make sure there's nothing that is confusing before we get into the implementation. Okay, so based on my analysis, I have one question to ensure the user experience is clear and under error consideration. Please provide clear immediate feedback when the user directly on the device where the action takes place without requiring this option A. Wait, what's the question? What's the question? Based on then, all right, so what is the question? I don't know what the question is. I'm guessing if there's some type of error, what to do. But I would go with option A. Briefly show an error icon on the button. Yeah, let's just do that. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. I think it's all right. Cool. So we're done with that. And the last thing I want to do is spec. I want to do the task issues. Convert is existing task. All right, let's do that first. I just want to see what that does because I never used that one before. And if it can create my task into actionable GitHub issues, that'd be pretty cool. Did it do it? I don't know if it did it. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to transition over to key. I don't know if it did it actually. Try it one more time. I don't know if it did it. Because I keep getting this API error, cannot read properties of undefined, which I don't know what undefined is. Oh, okay, cool. We don't have a remote URL yet. This probably doesn't have a get remote URL configured. I cannot create a GitHub. Oh. All right, I'll do that later. So now we're going to go over into here and we are going to say code. So they had said, now there's a keto code mode. You will feed it task one by one, loop for each task, and select the task, highlight the first task. I'm going to try that in here actually. So if I was to go to get create action task. All right, so let's do implement. So we're going to do, because once we have, so we'll have this start to do the implementation and then we can take over in Kilo, I believe. we'll get it started with Gemini CLI, and then once it starts doing something, we'll take it over with Kilo. This API error thing is really annoying me because I keep having to do this thing over and over again. And you guys know how I feel about doing things over and over again. It drives me absolutely crazy. Okay. Let's go here. Say allow everything. When I started tonight, I did not think that I would be using Gemini CLI. That was not on my to-do list for tonight. This thing is so annoying. All right. So much for Gemini CLI. Let's see. Let's say, can you implement the tasks specified in the let me see, copy path in the file, because I should have, honestly, I should have a thing here for Kilo, but I don't. So I'm gonna reach out to Kilo about that to see why we don't have that option. Like sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't. But we'll go with this. Ooh, what a jerk. What a jerk. Let me try that one more time. So, I put my Gemini 3 code in there. It says that quota exceeded limit. Hold on. Let me get another one then. Let me run that back. Try this one. Let's go with this one. Save, done. Retry. Damn it. How? I don't understand how I have to set up the billing, but I'm getting billed for it at the same time. Give me a second. I need to go into link to billing account. Let's say Firebase set account. You have reached the limit of projects which can be enabled billing. Let me break here. So which one has? Okay. Okay. How is there no billing? You have reached the limit of projects which you can enable billing. What? I don't know what's going on here. Let's go to which project has billing enabled then? Billing account. I don't know. What a pity. Gemini API. Okay. There we go. So now I found that. So I'm just trying to get my building enabled. This project is let's go here, go here, go here. Set up billing. Link to billing account. Firebase payment. Let's cancel that. Gemini API. Oh, hold on one second. Let me try something else. Give me a second. If I go to, where are my notes? There we go. Let me try that. Let me try this one. If I go to settings, save, done, retry. That one should work, hopefully. Yep, it's definitely going to work because it's taking time. All right, there we go. Now we're in business. We are in business. Had to find the right API keys. I don't know how Google handles its billing stuff, but it is what it is. While that's happening, I am going to go into GitHub. Let's create a new repo. Say new stream deck coach countdown. Stream deck plugin for countdown. Private, and let's say I should honestly create these repositories before actually all right, we're pushing existing GitHub, so I'm going to do this one right here. But I'm going to go back over here. So cd install play sound, save dev, just let's do run that. Let me open this up. I'm going to say git remote add. Wait, nope.
Lunch break.
CD.
Lunch break.
And I'm going to do git add. All right, so now we're here. So now we should be able to get branch. We are, all right, we're on this branch. No, not a big deal. Cool. Let's go to break. Let's go to break. I'm debating coming back for one more working segment because I really want to see how much progress we can get on this. But I do have a story for our last break. Let me see if there's anything in the chat, and then nope, nothing in the chat. All right, cool. Let's get to this last break time topic, and then we shall decide if we're going to come back for one more segment or not. All right, let's go over to here. Elon Musk, his SpaceX. Is it going to IPO in 2026? Will you invest in SpaceX? Well, let's see what in the world is happening with that. All right, so let's go to here. I'm going to go over to here. Let's get to it.
there's a lot that you and I have to cover on a potential SpaceX IPO, which we've reported is for the entirety of the business, right? Not just Starlink. But actually, important to start with, you would note that SpaceX is the private company that users of your platform are most interested in. In quantifying that for us, just transparently explain what EquityZen's relationship to SpaceX's private market shares is.
Sure. And thanks for having me, Ed. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. SpaceX is the most popularly requested private company on EquityZen. It's been that way for probably our entire existence as a business over the last 13 years. And that really just means that there is retail exuberance about investing in SpaceX. You know, the company is 23 years old. It's older than a lot of my employees. It has garnered interest. It's had success. It's out in the public. People have done incredibly well with Tesla as public market investors. And so there's a lot of enthusiasm to invest in the company while it's private, and what seems to be now an opportunity to invest in it while it's public in maybe even less than a year, which is pretty surprising.
I will say about Elon Musk, he puts on a great show of what the companies that he is in charge of, what their capabilities are. So when he does the Tesla, I don't know what they call it, but that event that they do where they have the Tesla diner, which I believe Trey, Tech Bags Trey from the Talk That Tech morning show on Mondays, I believe he went to that Tesla diner and he said it was absolutely fascinating. And so when they do that Tesla van and the Cybercab, the humanoid robots and all that type of stuff, like, it is a great marketing show. The features that the regular Tesla cars have in them, the upgrades and stuff like that. And then now, when you think about SpaceX, that marketing that they did where, because it's valuable stuff. Rescuing those 2 astronauts from outer space was huge. And the chopsticks that caught the rocket, like a reusable rocket, who could ever imagine? So he sets these companies up to have absolutely amazing IPOs. People love space. I see people wearing the NASA shirts and hats and all that stuff all the time. And I think that with SpaceX, that reinvigorated people's love for outer space. So that's really, really cool, really, really exciting. So let's keep going.
There is, of course, a lot that we don't know. What percentage of the company is SpaceX going to offer? What is the structure of the IPO going to be? But in reporting this story, Phil, one of the things I reflect on is that existing SpaceX shareholders aren't that diverse. You have Founders Fund, Fidelity, Google through Google Ventures and through Corp Dev, 137 Ventures, and then like others in the world of venture capital and strategics. But my point is that quite a lot of the company is owned by quite a small group, and then there's the Elon Musk factor as well. How does that translate in an IPO environment for anyone that wanted to get into the company?
Well, there's a couple other things to think about, which is that a 23-year-old company has had a lot of employees come, stay, leave, right? And so you have a wide swath of shareholders, kind of like a long tail of ownership. And so sure, there's some concentration in some of their biggest investors and in the founders' shares. But so this thing is pretty widely held. I'd go so far as to say that an IPO might also be a solve for the fact that the company is a private entity and can only have 2,000 shareholders. That is a requirement before they have to start filing financials. That may actually be a bit of a driver here as well. But as far as what the IPO is going to look like, this is uncharted waters, right? Saudi Aramco, Alibaba, those would actually be smaller than these IPOs, right? And we don't know, or than this IPO, and we don't know if it's going to be primarily secondary liquidity to existing, if it's going to be new capital, though I would posit it's probably going to be new capital based on a lot of your reporting as well, because there's going to need to be investment from SpaceX into new computing and processing power.
So to a big portion of the Bloomberg Tech audience that work in the world of technology, tenders and the secondary market is something they'll be familiar with. Loads of people will not be familiar with that. And so what usually happens with a big IPO is in late stage growth primary rounds, where the company raises money, issues new equity, you get these kind of anchor investors that come in ahead of an IPO. It might be a year in advance. In this case, what we're reporting is the tender is confirmed. $800 billion valuation, $421 share price. Could you explain that dynamic? Ahead of a big IPO, how there isn't any new primary round, not raising new money, which as
you said, an $800 billion IPO? Did he say $800 billion IPO? Because that means that if it's really $800 billion IPO, it could be close to opening up at $1 trillion. Like imagine a company to IPO at $1 trillion.
Stage growth primary rounds where the company raises money, issues new equity. You get these kind of anchor investors that come in ahead of an IPO. It might be a year in advance. In this case, what we're reporting is the tender is confirmed. $800 billion valuation, $421 share price. Could you explain that dynamic ahead of a big IPO, how there isn't any new primary round? Not
He said 800. If it's really an $800 billion IPO, that is wild. That means the company could be opening up at about $1 trillion. Sheesh. And remember, Tesla's pay package, if Elon Musk meets those certain milestones, is $1 trillion. Imagine what his pay package would be for space. It might be another trillion. It might be another trillion.
raising new money, which, as you know, Elon Musk has been at pains to point out on X.
Sure. In its simplest form, if you're a business that's profitable and you don't need new capital to continue growing, why dilute yourself by taking in new investment injection, through a primary? A secondary liquidity offering is a way to reward employees or perhaps early investors by getting them liquidity for their shares without diluting ownership overall for everybody else. And this is something that SpaceX has elected to do over the past few years, I believe kind of semi-annually, in a way to provide liquidity, not dilute themselves, also set a new kind of external price for their shares, but still maintaining an immense amount of control. And the only thing I would call out here, Ed, is that obviously $2 billion of liquidity is a big number, but it's actually only 0.25% of the valuation of this company. And so I hesitate to kind of identify that 800 billion is the new market price for SpaceX, more so that it is the market price that SpaceX has decided is out there.
Yes. Yeah, the tender was capped at $2 billion. That's what I reported. We just have 30 seconds. Valuation at IPO, $1.5 trillion. What do you make of that?
That, I think, would put it in uncharted waters, right? You've got 3 public companies that are worth north of $3 trillion. Where's the upside from 1.5? I'm not sure. At the same time, the bull in me says Palantir had a robust retail investor audience. It trades at north of 100 times revenue. So the art of the possible is somewhere in between those numbers. I do know that this would probably be literally the most exciting IPO we've ever seen.
That would be absolutely crazy to get an IPO over $1 trillion. That is uncharted territories. But if anybody can do it, I mean, we've seen what SpaceX has done, right? Like I said, my wife saw the chopsticks for the first time a few days ago. Like she didn't see it last year, and she was absolutely fascinated by how it caught the rocket and just like kind of took it, right? So, like I said, rescuing the astronauts from the space station earlier this year. That was a sight to see as well. Trying to get to Mars, all that other type of stuff. So I'm fascinated by it. I'm with it. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that SpaceX is going to IPO at over $1 trillion? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. All right. Let's get back to, I'm gonna put one more working segment because we're making some progress. I want to see if we can get this to work before we get out of here. So I'm gonna do one more 20 minutes here. Hopefully that's okay with you guys, but if not, then sorry, but not sorry. All right. Junior says that, let me see. Junior says Elon is gonna be a deca trillionaire. Love him or hate him, but you can't deny his money. All right. I'm just saying. All right. I'm gonna do this one last segment so that we can see how far we can push this, and then if anything, we'll pick up on it next week.
Let's go! Let's go!
But I really, really want this plugin though. I really, really want this plugin. So let's go over to here, and I think the issue that it's having is it's always with the test, right? So we're not going to do the test. I'm gonna run this, and then I'm going to tell it not to do the test, because that's just going to be it. Try and get it to, like, we're going to have to fix the test ourselves. So I am going to say reject, and I am going to say, yeah, I'm just going to skip the testing parts for now, because we're going to have to get the test to work on our own. These AI tools, once you get the framework of the test running, then they can start taking care of things themselves. But the actual starting off of the test, it is a nightmare, and it'll waste a lot. I repeat, it'll waste a lot of money trying to get these unit tests to work, and it's just not worth it. So I'd rather it create the test, and then I'll do one shot at trying to get the test to run. But if it fails, we're just gonna leave it at that. You see, it failed. I'm not gonna try to get it to fix. I'm not gonna try to fix it. I will run whatever it needs to run. Then I'm gonna say skip that part, and then we will come back and fix the unit test on our own. Especially in Node, it is really rough to get tests running properly in Node. Once you get past like the initial phase, then it's smooth sailing from there. But at the very just getting the inception of it, like if you don't do it yourself, AI is gonna be an absolute nightmare with it. Let's see, update counter to use the audio service. And then the question is going to be, how are we going to install this onto the Stream Deck? Yeah, the write unit test part is the annoyance. Like, at least it's writing it for us, because then we can come back and clean them up ourselves and use the model that we've been using, run it, copy the error into Gemini. Gemini tells us how to fix it, how to get it to pass, and go from there. But it's doing a lot of work though. And let's go to approve, deleting a file. Oh, snap. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm looking at my YouTube studio, and they finally added the ability to do the dual stream, automatically generate a vertical crop version for the shorts feed. I don't know how I feel about if it's gonna just crop my own stream. I don't know how I feel about that. I'd rather send it my own stream URL. I will try that over the weekend. Maybe Sunday I'll try that to send it I'm gonna have to look into that, see how that's gonna work. Let's go to here. All right. Okay, so it's gonna run it now. It's gonna do the build. All right, so completed implementing all the tasks. The testing tasks are blocked by a just environment issue. The core functionality has been implemented. Let's do run. Looks like we got an error. Looks like it made an error, mistake coding. Make this bigger. Really don't need this file open. Let's see. I will install. All right, let's do that. There's an error in the drawing. Okay, that's done. Let's try to run the build again. Still getting an error. Unexpected character. Let's see. CD countdown, run the build. Ooh. The build was successful. How do I install it now? I've successfully implemented the coach countdown. Let me see. All right. So I have successfully implemented the coach countdown Stream Deck plugin as specified. Summary of work completed, initialized TypeScript countdown, installed necessary dependencies, configured TS config, foundation architecture, countdown, visual, polished documents. Now, note on testing, extensive unit tests were written. So we'll have to fix that on our own. Maybe do that next week if this is working. The core logic was verified manually using TS Node, and the project built successfully with npm run. I'm going to do ask. How would, oops, I'm in caps. How would I install this on my Stream Deck? Let's see what that says. To install the plugin on your Stream Deck for testing and development, you need to link the build directory to your Stream Deck plugin. I was reading that. You need to link the build directory to your Stream Deck plugin. Since we installed the Elgato CLI to other dependency, we can use it to do this automatically. Automatic installation, I can run a command. I can run the link command for you. This will create a symbiotic link so you can change your build. So any change you build will immediately be reflected on Stream Deck software, though you need to restart the software. Yeah. Gonna mess up my 20 minutes. To install the plugin on your Stream Deck for testing and development, you have two primary options: development link, create a symbiotic link between your project folder and your Stream Deck plugin directory anytime. Anytime you rebuild your code, the changes are immediately available on the Stream Deck software, though you may need to restart the plugin to reload the plugin. Yeah. The only thing that sucks about restarting the software is that the timers are going to be cut off. So that would suck, but that's fine. And then, oh my goodness, I hate when Kilo does that. Go all the way down. So if we go up to package, the plugin, td countdown, npx Stream Deck pack, and then dev, okay, install. This will create a .Stream Deck plugin in your directory. Let's see. So let's do this one for now. So let's do. All right, let's go to here. Clear, and we're going to do cd countdown npx Stream Deck link, invalid directory name, countdown. What? I'm in the countdown directory. Name must be in reverse DNS format to be suffixed with and must only what? Hold on. Oh, that is one command. My bad. I thought that was like 2 lines. So dev.techcoachralph.countdown.sd plugin. That's my bad. Link successful. Okay. So if I go over here now and I go to I might have to restart. Oh, wait, no, there it goes right here. Coach countdown. And if I go to, let's go into this one. And we put, let's just drop it on that one. And I say 20 minutes. It doesn't do anything. Let's see. Where did it build this code though? Let me see. Countdown, SRC, node modules, VS code. Why is it in here though? I guess it's right. I don't know. I think the whole structure is kind of weird. That inside of this main folder, then it created another folder called countdown, but whatever. When I go to, all right, so I'm gonna say when I mean, we're making progress though. When I go to, let's go to debug. When I go to the Stream Deck, I see the plugin, but it doesn't have any of the fields or features to configure. I just see a title field. Let's go with that, see what we get. Let's see what we can get from this. Cause like what happens is you can have the code right, but then if the build command is wrong, then it's not gonna build correctly. So it's just gonna, we're building plugins and softwares. There's the writing the code part, and then there's the part of getting the build to actually run, which can be two totally different things. Let's see, I'll ask the user to verify if they can see the diagnostic element in the property inspector. I've added a red banner to the property inspector. Can you reload the plugin or restart the Stream Deck software and tell me if you see a red box that says, if you see this, a red box that says, if you see this, the inspector HTML is loading. Maybe I should restart the Stream Deck. Let me do that. I really don't want to because we're going to lose the 20 minutes. But let's say we stop at, I don't know how much time is left on the 20 minutes because that's why I want this plugin. But let's say we stop at 10:20. We'll stop at 10:20. All right. We'll call it a quits at 10:20. Let me go and kill Stream Deck. Yeah, no. Stream Deck. And if I go to here, oh snap! It is so. It's my bad because I did not restart it. Hold on. And one of the reasons I don't like to restart because then I have to go and recapture my Stream Deck again. But one of the reasons that it didn't work is because I did not restart the Stream Deck. So if we go back to, oops, I don't know why I did that. We go here, all right, so yeah, it's working. We need to, all right, so I'm going to say that, it's because I didn't restart the Stream Deck. Software earlier. All right, so that was my bad. Let's go with that. And then let's say we were to do duration in seconds. So it should, all right, let's have to restart the Stream Deck again. After it removes the banner. Let's run. All right, so I'm gonna exit this. Okay, you don't have to reload it. All right, cool. So let's say we do test, or we don't need a title, I guess. Well, I don't know. Oh, let's do that. Test, and we say this is gonna be at the bottom. we are going to say, let's do a test for 60 seconds, right? And then we're going to say start sound. We are going to go to my where I have my sounds. All right, so if we do a there's time to duel as a start. In sound, we're gonna go with break time. If I can find it. Or lunchtime actually. Lunch break. Whatever, we'll just choose anything for now. Let's go with that one for now. And let's say we don't put that in there. All right, so now if we actually test it out, let's see what's gonna happen. What? Y'all see? Do you see that? Where was I doing this? Economics. That is so cool. That is so cool. And then I can throw on a image on that, set from file, and we can go with, and I'll choose anything for that one. Go with that one. Oh, but then we don't see the, shoot. We won't see the timer if we do that. That's cool. It doesn't need a cover on there because the time seeing the timer is the most important thing. Do you see the greatness that we have done? Do you see the greatness that we have done? Wow. That's amazing. That is absolutely fat. And we did that in about 2.5 hours. And a good portion of it was getting it set up. We cannot be stopped. We cannot be stopped. What I'll do, so I'm gonna update this then. So I'm going to update this. I'm gonna go to say, I'm gonna have to do an official build for it, of course, but I am gonna put this over here. I'm gonna remove this one. Trash that. Let's get rid of this one. Delete. And then 60 times 20 would be 1200. All right. And then, yeah, 1200. And then it's time to duel. And then I need to find the lunch break sound. I need to add the stupid one to the lunch break. All right, there we go. And I'll find a milestone, like a 25%. Maybe I'll do like a 2-minute warning or something. I don't know. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. We did it. Time to duel. And we can say, how do I save that? Let's go to, I guess that's it. Let me try to run it. Sweet. Y'all see that? Do y'all see that? That is so cool. I am so excited. I am so excited. Let me just call that duel. Sweet. I am so excited about this. If I take this one now and I go to that one, replace, and I will say this one will be called Let's Go. And then I change this one to John. We go here and I compare it to this one. I have It's Time to Duel, and I have this one. Let's go to we did it, Joe. We did it. Y'all see, do you guys see this level of greatness? Do you see this level of greatness? We can't be stopped. We cannot be stopped whatsoever. I'm so happy. The night started off a little bit rough, a little bit flaky, but guess what? My success keeps me satisfied.
They ain't believe in us.
They did not believe in us, but I believed in us, and I believe in you. All right. With that being said, that's it. You know what? That's it for tonight. Resetting my. We are done. We are done. And how much? Let me show you this real quick. How much did this cost us in API usage? Less than $2. I gotta post this on like Upwork or something to see how much we would be charged to create this plugin for our Stream Deck. I'm curious because it costs us about 2 hours if we take out all the breaks and conversations and stuff. It's got maybe about 2 hours to build this, but less than $2. Where are you gonna find that? All right, that's it. I'm happy. I got what I wanted. I think what we'll do next week is be able to style the timer a little bit better. But I'm excited. I need to style the timer, and I need to change the name of the plugin to actually say Coach Countdown by Tech Coach Ralph. Like it has to say that. But it's amazing. Amazing. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Are you ready?
Let me see if there's any lingering comments in the chat, and then we're going to get up and out of here. Nope, we are good to go. Before I get out of here, I have to move this stuff over because my sounds are all out of whack. Let me go ahead and do this here. Go to here. Cool. I'll get rid of all the songs later. All right, cool. Perfect. So that's it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be discussing the New York Times suing Anthropic. No, the New York Times suing Perplexity for copyright infringement. Amazon sued them last month for using AI agents to make purchases. A lot of lawsuits going to be coming around. We saw about the settlements last week with Suno, and the weeks before that with Udio. A lot of lawsuits, but we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. Vibe Code and Chill Saturday later in the afternoon because I have a jiu-jitsu event to attend in the morning, and then Sunday we're going to be going live for the speech app, and I'm going to be using my plugin. I'm going to be all up in my plugin this coming Saturday or Sunday. All right, that's everything. ResumeFlow.app, get your resume analyzed. TechCoachRalph.dev, join us for Vibe Code and Chill. All that good stuff, right? Last comments before we get out of here. Let's see. Junior says, amazing in the Jesse Lee Peterson voice. I'm excited. This is so cool. I didn't think we were gonna finish tonight, but we did. A little bit more stylistic things to go through, but I got my functionality. I think next week we fix the functionality or the stylistic stuff. We make it look a little bit prettier, and we fix the name, and then we can get to the testing. So testing either next week or the week after, but We got what we wanted. We got what we wanted. And on that note, I wish you all a good night. Techo Ralph, we are out.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Y'all thought the game was over. Y'all thought the game was over. We don't kneel the ball, man. We run the score up. Max pressure, let's go. Let's go.
They was on the sideline, chatting on the timeline. Said I never break through, said I hit my decline. Said I didn't have a heart, said I didn't have a mind. Man, I'm about to lap them, leave them all behind. I saw them laughing, I saw them pointing. Now their faces twisted, looking disappointed. I don't feel no pity, I don't feel no care. I just feel the mission, I'm a grizzly bear. I'm a different monster, I'm a new machine. Few ball the doubt, keep the engine clean. Every time I see them, every time they look, it's an extra rep. It's another hook, it's another jab, it's another play. Till they understand, we don't come to play, we just come to win. We just come to dominate. You can see the future, we the ones that nominated for the whole thing. We want all the smoke, we want all the rings. This is not a joke, we apply the pressure till the pipes burst. We was in the back, now we coming first. We gon' run it up, we gon' make them hurt. Max pressure, run the score up, no mercy. Tear the floor up.
See a hater, we go harder. 1 second on the clock, we just started.
Max pressure, run the score up, no pity. Tear the floor up.
They don't like it, tell them so what? We applying pressure till they all fold up.
1 second on the clock and we up by 40. I'ma call the play, I'ma tell them go for it. This ain't for the sport, this ain't for the statement. Show them we the ones that's running the pavement. We don't want a piece, man, we want the whole pie. We want the touchdown when the game should die. We want the home run when we up by 10. We gon' swing the bat again and again. Crush the competition till there's nothing left. We don't care about who we have bereft. This a hustle takeover, this a full court press. Put them on the stretcher, leave a bigger mess. They gon' wear the white flag, we gon' run right through it. They ask me why I do it, cause you said I couldn't do it. Now I'm on the gas, and I cut the brakes. I will not be stopped, whatever it takes. We want all the wins, we want all the glory. We the only ones that's gon' write the story. We want it all, we ain't about to share. Maximum pressure, we don't fight fair. We don't fight fair, we don't fight fair, we don't fight fair. We don't fight fair. Max pressure, run the score up, no mercy. Tear the floor up.
See a hater, we go harder. 1 second on the clock, we just started.
Max pressure, run the score up, no pity. Tear the floor up.
They don't like it, tell them so what? We applying pressure till they all fold up. They call me queen, but I'm really the whole team. Running this track, blowing off all the steam. You're looking tired, I ain't even break a sweat. This is max pressure, is it in your head? Yeah. Ha. I don't see no competition, I just see the prey. I'ma eat them all up, call it a buffet. You can see I'm shaking, you can see I'm scared. Cause they know my drive, they know I'm prepared. This ain't for the weak, this ain't for the soft. I'm the one who's blasting off like a rocket launch. Hitters on the ground, looking like ants. While I'm in the end zone, doing my dance. Watch me run the score up, it's the only way to play. Put them in the dirt, get them out the way. No pity, no remorse, no second thought. This is for the win that I went and bought. With the blood, with the sweat, with the time I spent. Now you looking stupid for the day you in and land. I'm the final boss on the last touchdown. I'm the home run swing when the game's downtown. 1 second left, I'ma take the shot. Cause I'd rather die than give up what I got.
Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. Game over. Y'all thought we was gonna stop. We ain't never stopping.
Max pressure, forever. Max pressure, forever. Max pressure.
They think the machine never break. Sometimes the battery hit red. I ain't stopping, I'm just rebooting. Why the bounce back? Go! Go! Eyes heavy like I'm lifting weight with my eyelid. Brain foggy, feeling like I'm stranded on an island. Coffee pot empty and the energy is silent. Fighting with the demons in my head, getting violent. Staring at the screen, but the progress isn't moving. Spinning on the wheels, tell me what am I proving? Body aching, bad breaking, losing all the grooving. Every single step feels like I'm just losing. Working 24, but the needle barely nudging. Feel like I'm a hammer, but the wall isn't budging. Burn on creepy, yeah, the shadow is a trudging. Doubters on the sideline, yeah, they always judging. Is it worth the stress? Is it worth the hypertension? Did I make the turn? Did I lose the dimension? Need a little break, need a little intervention. Before I crash out and I lose the retention. Man, I'm feeling fried, sucker to your sizzling. Is it getting blurry and the rain start drizzling? Plus I'm feeling heavy, motor vision and fizzling. Waiting for the steak, but I don't hear the sizzling. But I can't quit, now I can't to the flag. Even when I'm dragging and I'm feeling like a rag. Got too many gold packed inside the bag. Gotta push through even when I hit the lag. Just need a minute, just need to close the blinds. Disconnect the server, disconnect the lines. Lay the head down, let the body unwind. So I can wake up and get back on the grind. They sit in the stands with a popcorn ready. Praying at my knees, but hoping I ain't steady. Wanna see the downfall, wanna see it messy. Wanna see me crash like a stolen Chevy. I see the side eyes, hear the whispers in the dark. Waiting for the flame to extinguish the spark. They wanna see the dog loot a bite in the bark. But I'm a gray white swimming like a shark. If I quit now, man, they win the whole game. If I slow down, they gon' tarnish the name. Gotta feed the fire, gotta feed the flame. Satisfaction that they seek is a damn shame. I ain't gon' give it to them, never gon' fold. Story of my fair is a story never told. My desire to win is worth my goal. Bigger than the hate that they tryna hold. So I take a rest, yeah, I hit the pillow hard. Reboot the system, put an ace front of car. Keep the haters locked out, stand in the yard. While I recharge the battery and lower down the guard. Just for an hour, let the new runs reset. Wake up cleaner than I ever been yet. Ready for the war, ready for the threat. Gonna make them pay every single little debt. They want me to crumble, they want me to crack. But I bounce back like a rubber on the track. Sleep is the weapon, get the mind intact. Then I hit the gas, never looking back. I'm burned out, but I ain't bowed out. No, just need a nap, then I'm back on the route. Close the eyes for a second, shut the world out. Wake up a beat, scream and shout. I can let them see me lose, I can give them that. They waiting on the crumble, waiting on the splat. My drive is too big, yeah, I'm taking it back. Just a power nap, then I'm back on attack. Okay, I'm up now, wipe the crust eye. Looking in the mirror, no more disguise. Demon on my shoulder, yeah, he finally died. Energy is peaking, reaching for the sky. Thought I was dumb and you must be crazy. Thought the burnout meant that I was getting lazy. Vision was blurry, now it ain't hazy. Pushing up Daisy, now I'm pushing Mercedes. Word didn't change, but the mind stayed with flip. Got a new Mac and I put in a clip. Haters looking sick, yeah, they starting to trip. Watching me and sin while they sinking in the ship. Progress was slow, now I'm moving like speed. Planting whole forest when I planted the seed. Satisfy the want, satisfy the need. Made the competition turn around and bleed. I do this for the win, I don't do it for the likes. Coming up the mountain while you riding on trikes. Heading for the top, yeah, I'm planning the strikes. Running up the score, yeah, I'm racking up strikes. Turning the engine, failure's not an option. Turning every obstacle into adoption of a new method, yeah, I'm swapping in, I'm copying. Only thinking is the records that I'm popping. Burner was a lie, it was just a little test. Put a head down, got a little bit of rest. Now I'm back stronger, pounding on the chest. Put me to the trial and I iced the quest. Yeah, I'm wide awake now. You shouldn't have blinked. I can let them see me lose. My drive is bigger, be a hate, be bigger than a hate. Back, better work, 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 better work. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.